Another beautiful night for baseball at Target Field. The Twins hope to score some runs, enough runs to win a ball game in their home ballpark. The White Sox now in second place, still within range of the Detroit Tigers, but time is running out on the White Sox in the Central. And welcome to Target Field along with Hall of Famer Bert Blyleven. I'm Dick Bramer. As unpleasant as this has been to watch against the White Sox, it might look familiar to Twins fans because the dominance that Chicago's shown over Minnesota is exactly the dominance the Twins showed over the White Sox earlier.
Yeah, right now the White Sox have the Twins number. You look at the last 11 ball games between these two ball clubs, Twins have not averaged a lot of runs, just 2.4 runs per game, where the Sox are averaging almost 5. Now, prior to the 11 games, it was the Twins that controlled the White Sox. Over previous 13 ball games, it was the Twins that were scoring all the runs in a 12-1 record back then.
Well, Twins hope to win the final game of the season series with the White Sox. And at the beginning of the season, Carl Pavano was the veteran member of the starting rotation. That is especially true nowadays.
Yeah, he's the only one left. Carl Pavano coming off a very good start in his last start against the Angels. And Pavano, even though he lost this ball game, he went deep into the game, something that he's been very consistent of since he's been a Minnesota Twin. He's 2-1 this year against the White Sox in 3 starts with an ERA of 1.5. He's only allowed 4 earned runs in 24 innings.
It's been a frustrating year for the Twins, but a year that has seen them go into a transition mode. And in center field, they've transitioned to Ben Revere in center. We'll talk more about his phenomenal defensive plays when we come back. Baseball on Fox Sports North is brought to you by your local Northland Ford dealers. Visit your local Northland Ford dealer or go to northlandford.com. By Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. And by Window Concepts of Minnesota.
Well, for the third consecutive night, we've got an absolute beautiful night in downtown Minneapolis to play a baseball game at Target Field as the Twins try to get a win here at home against the Chicago White Sox on Fox Sports North. Thanks for joining us. I'm Robbie Mikowski. Ben Revere, been a sensation as a rookie this year, especially in the outfield in center field. And he's made some spectacular catches. And fans, last night, you voted this the top catch of Ben Revere this season. Ben made it his top catch as well. He's played outstanding, throwing his body everywhere. And Ben Revere earlier discussed the fearlessness of playing center field.
So many people respect that of you as a player, as a person, because you know that you're going all like you're going basically going your best, your best shot. You know, go 110% every time the ball's coming where you are, because they know 9 to 10 times you're probably gonna catch it, or you're gonna do something out of the ordinary. You're gonna make these people jump out of their seats.
And Ben Revere has made him jump out of their seats. He's in center field again. Maybe he'll do it tonight. He's got Carl Pavano pitching to him, the man who threw the Vlad pitch. First pitch coming up next.
Quite a night last night for those three gentlemen featured. Liam Hendriks, Chris Parmelee, Joe Benson all making their major league debuts last night. Fortunately, the Twins lost the ball game, didn't score any runs again. And Carl Pavano hoping for some defensive and offensive support tonight.
That's what's good about the game of baseball. You put yesterday's loss behind you, and hopefully today will start a little winning streak for the Twins.
Menards batting order for Ozzie Guillen is Juan Pierre leading off. Alexei Ramirez hitting second. Paul Konerko, good numbers against the Twins starting pitcher tonight. A.J. Pierzynski, Alex Rios, Alejandro De Aza, Dayan Viciedo, Omar Vizquel, and Brent Morel.
And it'll be Carl Pavano on the mound, making his 29th start, his fourth against the Chicago White Sox this year. And wins have been hard to come by. Pavano did get a win in his last start, beating the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim 13-5. So might be the last time the Twins have scored a lot of runs. They have not scored a lot of runs, and three quality starts so far for Pavano against the White Sox.
And the Northland Ford defense for the Twins. Joe Benson out in left field tonight. Ben Revere back in center. Jason Repno in right. Valencia, Plouffe, Hughes, Parmelee around the infield. Drew Butera, as he usually does, catches Carl Pavano.
I said Pavano wins are hard to come by. Over his last 6 starts, he has an ERA of about 3.6, but he's just 1-3 over his last 6 starts. He has been pitching a lot better than his record has indicated. Pavano, a 17-game winner last year, says, you know, I mean, September is important to him. He wants to finish strong. Well, this is the beginning of September. Carl Pavano needs a consistent start.
Here's the Bryant heating and cooling weather, and you don't need a furnace or air conditioner. It's just perfect weather. Gorgeous moon between the skyscrapers in downtown Minneapolis. Not a cloud in the sky, and wonderful temperatures. You were telling about Pavano, how he's pitched better than his record would indicate. Case in point, his last start against the White Sox, 8 innings, just 1 earned run allowed, and he came out of the ball game trailing 2-1. He'll face Juan Pierre to get things started here tonight. And a first pitch strike. Pierre with good numbers against Pavano, hitting just under 400 against him. A bunt. Did he offer at it? No. 1-1.
Well, Pierre's been doing this a long time. 12th season at the major league level. Just 2 hits shy of 2,000 in his career.
Inside. 2-1.
Pierre, a guy you want to keep off the bases. He'll steal some bases. But a .297 career hitter.
There's a bunt up the line, and it'll roll foul. 2 strikes. You see, we talked about Ben Revere fearless in center field. Pierre fearless in terms of bunting. The Twins doing everything they can to take the bunt away from him. But like the really good bunters, they still go ahead and try it.
Well, he has the ability to soften that ball. What I mean by when he bunts, the ball just kind of hits off his back softly. Some guys try to bunt and the ball just jumps off the bat.
Chopper to the right side. Hughes over to Parmelee, 1 away.
Pavano in his career against the White Sox, good numbers, even though there are some hitters that have had some good success. There are the numbers on Pavano, looking for his 8th win. Only 36 walks in 188 innings pitched, 84 strikeouts. So a guy that doesn't strike out a lot, he needs good defense behind him.
Strike 1. Ramirez with pretty good numbers against the Twins. Foul back, 2 strikes. Window Concepts window of opportunity, encouraging the notion the Twins might win tonight.
Making his 13th start again, 8-4 for Pavano in 12 starts. Very good, 3.26 ERA.
Outside 1-2. And Ramirez fouls it back. Ramirez not having his best year. His middle infield partner Gordon Beckham has had a disappointing year, yet they've been out there most nights. There's a 1-hopper fielded by Plouffe, and Parmelee can't handle the low throw. An error charged to Plouffe on a low throw.
Well, Plouffe, you know, right off the end of the bat, Plouffe playing the hop and then throwing a little sinker over there, and that's a ball that Parmelee probably says, I should have had that ball. It came up a little bit more than he anticipated.
And that's what we've been talking about. Pavano, more than any other Twins pitcher, has been victimized by poor infield play. Ron Gardenhire, who of course was a middle infielder himself, talks about Plouffe and how he needs to get his legs underneath his throws, much like I suppose a pitcher would. You need to stride toward your target. And that time it looked like Plouffe just kind of flipped it toward first.
Well, you know what? As a former pitcher myself, Dick, this I took as a challenge right here. Now I got to pick up my shortstop, because somewhere down this, hopefully in this ball game, he's going to save me a run by making a great play. So that's the way I look at it. I got a chance to pick up my defense right here. as a pitcher.
Drilled down the left field line. Alexei Ramirez rounding second. Quick pickup in left by Benson. Ball looked when it left home plate like it was destined for the corner, but Benson cut it off. Not only held Konerko to a single, but he kept Ramirez from going to third.
Yeah, 13th hit for Konerko against Pavano in 39 at bats, so hitting .333 right now. That ball going right into that swing of Konerko. Good job by Joe Benson getting over there and keeping Ramirez at second.
Here's Pierzynski with runners at first and second and one away. Outside, ball one.
AJ 11 for 35 lifetime against Pavano. A .314 average.
2-0.
AJ already in his 14th season at the major league level, coming up with the Twins back in 1998.
Slap to left. Benson catches the line drive for out number 2. And that'll bring up Alex Rios. Twins baseball brought to you in Sony High Definition. Well, Rios has picked up a couple of multi-hit games here in this series. Hoping to get the batting average up close to 250 before season's end. And Butera goes to the mound. Ball one.
White Sox right now lead the Twins over the season series 9-8. Last time the White Sox have won a season series against the Twins, you have to go back to 2005. And the Twins were 7-11 against the White Sox.
White Sox were pretty good that year. They won the World Series.
Yep.
1-0 to Rios, and a pitch blocked by Butera. 2-0. White Sox were swept by Detroit over the weekend, and then the Tigers went ahead and swept the Indians in Cleveland today. And so the White Sox are still in the fringes of the divisional race, but running out of time. 24 games left. Off-speed pitch hits the outside corner.
And that's what Pavano's all about right there. Add and subtract for Carl Pavano.
Check that. The White Sox have 22 games left in the schedule. 2-1. Bouncer to third. And Valencia goes to the bag. It's ruled a fair ball by third base umpire Brian Runge. And Pavano picks up his shortstop and strands a couple of White Sox runners. Lineup tonight. Ben Revere leading off. Trevor Plouffe hitting second. Joe Mauer, the designated hitter, hitting third. Danny Valencia, Chris Parmalee, Luke Hughes, Joe Benson, Jason Repko, and Drew Butera.
And it's left-handed pitcher John Danks on the mound looking for his 7th win. His 24th start is second against the Twins. It's been a roller coaster season for John Danks. He started the season 0-8 in his first 11 starts. Over the last 12, he's pitched a lot better, 6-2.
And Revere takes outside, now 1-1.
Now Danks making his 21st start against the Twins. That's 7 more starts against the Twins than any other team.
And a one-hopper back to the mound. Danks over to Konerko, one away. Northland Ford defense for the White Sox. Juan Pierre, Alex Rios, Alejandro Diaz in the outfield. Brent Morel, the fixture now at third. Ramirez and Vizquel up the middle tonight, with Konerko back at first and Pierzynski back behind the plate. One gone. Here's Trevor Plouffe. Twins have scored coming into tonight's game 2 runs in their last 40 innings. And one of those runs came on an out, the only run of this homestand so far. On the outside corner, 1-1. Plouffe getting time just as Danks was ready to wind up.
Well, Danks taking a little page out of Mark Burley's, how quick he works toward home plate. Doesn't like it take a lot of time.
1-2.
There's Mark Burley watching. First time in a while the Twins haven't faced him in a series.
Yeah, a 4-game series, and Burley didn't get one of the starts. Bounced to third. Morel has a long throw. Target. Plouffe retired, 2 away.
Well, I mentioned that John Danks in the month of April and May, it was a disaster for John Danks. A 15-game winner last year, 0-8, high ERA, but since June 1st, it's been a lot better. Now he's coming off a short start, an ugly start against the Tigers in his last start. He gave up 8 earned runs in 4 2/3 innings to a loss to the Tigers in Detroit.
And what made that so frustrating is the White Sox needed Danks to pitch well in that game. He was matched up against Justin Verlander, and the Tigers ended up completing that sweep. Here's Mauer, and he takes ball 1.
Yeah, Verlander, even though he didn't pitch his Verlander type game, got his 22nd win here, in Cleveland this afternoon.
Victor Martinez with a late grand slam. 2-0. Ron Gardenhire reminding everybody today that Mauer will catch later this year. In fact, he said in Detroit this weekend, Joe's scheduled to catch 1, maybe 2 games. This one driven deep to the left field corner. And foul by about 3 feet. And it was hit hard enough and far enough to have hit the foul pole had it been fair. Mauer hitting Danks, tough lefty, at a 370 clip.
Yeah, 17 hits and 46 at bats.
Oh, I guess it didn't have enough to get to the pole. 2-2. Off the knuckles and a 1-hopper, make it a 2-hopper to Morel. Dozen pitches for Danks, and he's got a 1-2-3 first inning.
Is brought to you by Pentair.
No score after an inning from downtown Minneapolis. I'm Robbie Zmikowski, joined by Tim Holt, who is Joe Benson's high school baseball coach at Joliet Catholic High School in Illinois. Tim, you've been coaching baseball 15 years. Joe Benson's the first guy to make it to the big league level.
First guy.
What have these past couple days been like for you?
So exciting. So exciting. It's just wonderful. Words don't describe.
Now, you've seen a lot of baseball players come and go. What made Joe so special to make the jump from Double-A to the big leagues, and are you surprised?
Surprised, no. Physical tools, he has the tools. We knew that when he was a young kid growing up. And the work ethic. He put in the work.
Congratulations to you, Tim. Enjoy this homestand.
Thank you very, very, very much. We're very excited.
There you go, Dick and Bert.
Yeah, thank you, Robbie. You know what? When somebody comes up to the big leagues, there's so many people that, have been, I'm sure, in Joe's corner, from his high school coach to, his parents to his family members. It's pretty cool because it's not Joe Benson only celebrating this, it's everybody around him.
And the ball hit to Benson. Nice timing for that. Piazza flies out, one away. All right, who was your high school coach?
Dave Jarman.
Okay.
Dave Jarman was a good coach. We had a very good high school program at San Diego High School in Garden Grove. When I went there, we did very well my junior, senior year, because I got to pitch every game. Pitch Tuesday and Friday. It's cool.
One down. Here's Viciedo.
We had catcher Tom Hirely that got drafted along with me in 1969 with the Atlanta Braves. Big, powerful, right-handed hitting catcher.
How far up the chain did he get?
He passed away, that's sad to say. We're at a very young age.
Oh.
They got to about Double-A.
1-1 to Viciedo. Viciedo, the designated hitter for the White Sox tonight. Pierzynski was there last night. This one driven to right field, a one-out single. You get all your high school football action with Fox Sports Prep Zone presented by Wells Fargo. Log on to foxsportsnorth.com. Click on the Prep Zone link to watch up to 4 high school football games all at one time, live each week. You can log on Friday and watch the lineup this week. Here's Vizquel with a runner at first and one out.
We saw Vizquel in game 1 on Monday play third base. Here tonight he's at second base.
In the World Championship years, the Twins had one of the best, if not the best, utility players in the American League at the time in Al Newman. And Al did a great job for the Twins in the 5-6 years he played for them, but he did that in his 20s. Vizquel is doing the same type of thing for the White Sox in his 40s.
Yeah, Omar Vizquel, 44 years old. Look at him. He keeps himself in great shape. His 23rd major league season. He's got over 2,800 hits at the major league level.
Popped up short right field. Repko with the catch, and out number 2.
I think he's one of those players that has good shot to be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, he won 11 Rolling Gold Gloves. Only Ozzie Smith won more at short. I don't know how much longer he wants to play, but
he would have to play at the rate he's going probably at least a couple of years to get to the 3,000 hit mark, but he's kept himself, as you said, in great shape. That might be out there for him, if not with the White Sox. Another team. 1-0. Morel hitting ninth for the White Sox. (2-0). 30 pitches for Pavano, 19 strikes.
Two fastballs in a row, probably an off-speed pitch here. Oh, another fastball missing away.
Pavano, through his entire Twins career, has been healthy. And in a year where everybody else has gotten hurt,
Ball 4. And Viciedo will go to second. The original starting rotation, 3 of them on the disabled list, and Dunsing, for all intents and purposes, would be on the list if there was any point in putting him on there.
Yeah, you know, you hope that maybe Francisco Liriano, maybe Brian Dunsing will pitch again. Scott Baker's still complaining or saying that his elbow's still barking a little bit. Nick Blackburn shut down for the year.
Those 3 guys, Baker, Liriano, and Dunsing, are going to throw off the mound tomorrow. And Ron Gardenhire said maybe Dunsing would be able to come back as a starter, but Baker would not. Liriano would not. The idea would be to give them some innings. They've been out long enough. They're not built up to start a game anymore. This one hit down the right field line, and a foul ball. There's so little foul territory down that right field line, and thankfully for the Twins, Pierre found some.
See where that ball hit right there, just to the base of that wall. The ball just kept hooking.
2 strikes. So what we're seeing with the Twins starting rotation, Pavano and Diamond and Hendricks, guys like that, is probably what we're going to see here for the final weeks of the season. Punch to left center, and Benson calls and makes the catch in front of Revere. White Sox have left 4 on through 2 innings against Carl Pavano. To plan your next Minnesota vacation today. The Root River Trail near Lanesboro in the historic Bluff Country, southeast Minnesota. Great area for biking, hiking, cross-country skiing once we get to that quadrant of the season here in Minnesota.
Have fun.
Lanesboro is the hub of the Root River Trail. Have you ever been cross-country skiing?
No.
Downhill skiing?
You?
Yeah, I love cross-country skiing. Downhill skiing?
I've been downhill skiing, and that's exactly the way it was. I fell all the way down.
You got down to the bottom, did you?
Yeah, barely. And I didn't break anything.
1-1 to Valencia, leading off the second inning. Harmony and Hughes will follow. 2-1.
Well, opponents coming into the ball game against John Danks hitting .266, left-handers .265, right-handers .266. He's given up 12 home runs to right-handers, 5 to lefties.
And Valencia fouls it off his leg.
And that little slider right there ran right into Danny's swing. And beat that maybe into his right shin. Maybe his knee. Hit the back leg. Take a look right here. Right around the knee area. the right knee.
2-2 to Valencia. Bounce to short. And another ground ball out. 4 of them so far off of Danks. 1 down. Parmalee coming to the plate. 9 games remain at Target Field this season. You can spend a late summer day with us at the ballpark. Cleveland Indians and Jim Thome come to town on Friday, September 16th for a 3-game series. Tickets are available. All 833 Twins. Visit twinsbaseball.com and secure your September seats. Thome almost hit his first Cleveland home run today. Bounce to second. His second Cleveland home run, I should say. Hit a double off the top of the fence.
I remember he went to left field with his first home run.
2 down in the second, and here's Luke Hughes.
Twins having a tough time right now getting the ball airborne. All 5 outs recorded by ground ball outs.
Ball 1 to the Twins second baseman. That's to left center field and down for a hit.
All right, that one's airborne.
Hughes takes a big turn. Last night we talked about Joe Benson and his forearms all scratched up. And here's how he scratched his arms.
Wow. Unbelievable. You wonder how he didn't dislocate his shoulder. Kind of holding his chest right there in his shoulder area. But I was only kidding last night about the bar fight. My goodness. Wow, what a catch.
That was for the New Britain Rock Cats on Sunday.
You see the scratches still there from hitting the warning track.
Kind of channeled Jim Edmonds to make a catch like that. 1 strike to Benson. Two strikes. Benson last year led the organization in home runs. He had more home runs than Jim Thome did, but they were minor league home runs.
He's named Twins minor league player of the year.
In Fort Myers and New Britain combined for 27 home runs. 2 strikes. And now a ball. Danks pitching from the stretch for the first time. Compliments of Hughes' 2-out single. Struck him out. So the Twins get a base hit. It's a single with 2 outs. Danks strikes out Benson, and we've got 2 scoreless innings. To pick up your instant win game card for a chance to win World Series tickets, compliments of Scott. Carl Pavanos, guys on base. He hasn't given up any runs yet. An error and a single allowed in the first. A single and a walk in the second. He'll face Ramirez, who reached on a Trevor Plouffe error in the first. Ramirez, Konerko, and Pierzynski. There's a strike on the outside corner. Missed 2 strikes.
Good change up there. Pavano, 35 years old. He's in his 13th major league season. 29th start, his 269th major league start.
That's hit to right center field, headed toward the gap. Repko can't flag it down. He'll play the carom, and Ramirez has a leadoff double.
Too good a pitch right there. He's ahead in the count, 0-2, and he looked like a changeup up. And Ramirez waited back nicely and went the other way. 3rd hit for the White Sox against Pavano. Ramirez taking that pitch. That was outer half of the plate and finding that gap in right center. His 28th double of the year.
Konerko drove a liner toward the left field corner. And Benson hustled to it, kept him to a single. Breaking ball, a swing and a miss. Been a season for Pavano where he has both won and lost his 100th major league decision. High and tight, 1-1. Really is remarkable with everybody else in the rotation breaking down because of injury. Pavano's been the one guy who's taken the ball every turn through the rotation.
Well, he's got a good delivery. You know, he's a big, strong guy.
And that's going to be knocked down nicely by Hughes to keep Ramirez at third base.
Pavano's delivery brings him a little bit toward first base, and this ball is hit behind him and not hit very sharply, but ball had eyes right there, right up the middle. Good job by Luke Hughes, at least knocking this ball down and keeping Ramirez at third. So an infield base hit for Paul Konerko. His second hit off of Pavano.
First and third, nobody out. Here's Pierzynski, line to left his first time up. Twins playing the infield back up the middle. Even on the corners. Different catchers held to different standards. We all know that Joe Mauer's had a miserable year, and it's been very frustrating for Joe. But you look at his numbers with 111 fewer at bats than Pierzynski. Here's a ball chopped foul. And Pierzynski's considered to have had a good year. He's hitting cleanup. He spent a little time on the disabled list too. But Pierzynski, 288, 6 home runs, 40 runs batted in, and Mauer having such an awful year, and his numbers really not that far behind Pierzynski's. One and one. And now 1-2. How can Pavano strike out Pierzynski? He doesn't strike out that much. How can he strike out Pierzynski here on this 1-2 pitch?
But the only way is to try to go up on his hands up high. Mark just saw him a nasty, look like a changeup.
So one down, and that'll bring up Rios.
Watch this changeup right here. It's the location right there. The bottom just dropping out of it. And Well, talking to Carl about that, he's got two different types of changeups. One that he throws like a split finger, and the other one he adds like your ring finger, and it almost becomes what's called a fosh ball, that the bottom just drops out of it at the end. So he changes speeds even on his changeup.
Outside, ball 1 to Rios, and now third baseman Valencia plays back, hoping to get a ground ball and start a double play.
You know, Santana could do that. Frank Viola could do that. Change up off their changeup.
And at least in the case of Santana, he could get it to roll over one way or have it fade away the other way, just by changing the pressure on the ball.
Yeah, Frankie did too. The same circle changeup. Those were circle changeups. His is more like a split finger. Pavano's is.
1-1 to Rios.
And then add a finger.
To Valencia. To Hughes. Double play, and Pavano pitches out of a mess in the third. Just a perfect night for baseball. We'll see if the Twins can win the final game of this series. Jason Repko taking a pitch inside, leading off the third. Repko, Butera, and Revere facing John Danks. And another ground ball. 6 ground ball outs and a strikeout. One down. Here's Butera.
Yeah, John Danks, just 26 years old. He made his major league debut against the Twins in Chicago back on April 8, 2007. He lost to Johan Santana in that ballgame 3-1. And then about a month later, he won his first major league game against the Twins here in Minnesota at the Metrodome. He beat Ramon Ortiz 6-3.
Strike one to Butera. Foul back. Butera catching Pavano as he normally does, and Ron Gardenhire saying today that Joe Mauer wants to catch right now, probably will catch a game or two in Detroit this weekend. Outside, 1-2. Pulled foul down the line, cracked his bat in the process. Protecting the plate, dribbling it foul.
We saw that pitch right there by Danksig, almost like a screwball, just turns it over. Same pitch that struck out Benson last inning. Kind of turns it over, down and away. AJ now sitting inside. Butera fouling that off.
There's a thought. Might be all wet, but why is it screwballs are pitches almost always thrown by left-handers?
Well, left-handers, the ones that I play with, just to their release point, it ball automatically sinks the other way. And you know, Fernando Valenzuela had a screwball where he truly turned it over.
Mike Cuellar.
Well, you don't see too many right-handed screwballs. Mike Marshall, I guess, because he majored in kinesiology and knew all every muscle that he had in his shoulder.
I've met some right-handed screwballs.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of them out there. I think you're working with one.
3-2. And that'll cause Danks some fits tonight. He walks the number 9 batter Butera after getting ahead of him 0-2.
Chicago White Sox this year, they have actually played better on the road than they even have at US Cellular Field, 40-32, and it's surprising for some reason for John Danks. It's a complete opposite. He's 2-7 on road starts and 4-3 in Chicago.
Here's Ben Revere. Hit a one-hopper back to Danks to start the bottom of the first inning, and he takes a strike. That's lifted to left and in front of Pierre, and Revere has a base hit. The Twins now with runners at first and second, one away. Follow the Twins with MLB.com at Bat11 for your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. Get all the score, stats, highlights, live audio, and more. Text at Bat to 31826 or visit TwinsBaseball.com for details. Here's Trevor Plouffe. Get a ground ball to third. It was to Brent Morel in the first inning.
One thing the Twins would like to do is do a better job of that right there. Runners in scoring position. Twins so far 0 for 17.
And the only run the Twins have scored in this series came on a sacrifice fly. Big swing and a miss, 1-1.
Twins, too, in this 3-4 game series have yet to score a run off of a starter for the Chicago White Sox.
Changeup and a swing and a miss, 1-2.
In game one, it was Philip Humber's 7 shutout innings, and then, of course, the 1-hit shutout by Zach Stewart. And then Jake Peavy last night, 6 1/3 innings of shutout baseball.
They're working Plouffe away and now come inside and get a foul ball. Butera at second in scoring position. Twins looking for the first run of the game. 2-2. Tsuyoshi Nishioka out with an oblique injury, and they said today that the only thing that's going to officially heal it is extended time off. That said, Ron Gardenhire thought he would use Nishioka in Detroit this weekend in a game or two. And now 3-2 to Plouffe. Remembering that Danks got ahead of Butera and ended up losing him to a walk. Mauer on deck. Stay put, and the swing and a miss by Plouffe, 2 away.
Yeah, threw a changeup right there, 3-2. And Danks picks up a big strikeout, as Pavano did last inning. See him move that ball around, changeup, Plouffe way out front. Banks picks up his second strikeout.
So now Mauer. Bouncer to third his first time up. Over for strike one. Pavano wiggled out of a jam in the top of this inning. Danks trying to do it here in the third, bottom of the inning. Hit him. Came inside and hit Mauer, and that'll load him up for Valencia.
Well, they went fastball away for strike one. Then he tried to come in, and he's got a piece of Joe. So he got his jersey.
Valencia bounced to short his first time up. Valencia, one of the Twins' best hitters against left-handed pitching this year. And he takes inside, ball one. We've shown you over the years how well he's done with the bases loaded. Hitting .308 against lefties.
The Twins need a big hit right here.
And a changeup, off-speed pitch of some sort, right down the middle, a strike. Walk, a base hit, a hit batter. They're loaded up for the cleanup hitter. Down the right field line, this could work. Piazza chasing it. That's a fair ball. The Twins are going to score a couple of runs. A Texas leaguer in Minnesota.
Well, it was Danny Valencia who broke up Zach Stewart's no-hitter in the 8th inning, going to right field. This one right off the end of the bat. Got underneath it a little bit, but the ball flared right down that right field line. Piazza can't catch up to it, and with 2 outs, everybody's running. Well, a big 2-run double for Danny Valencia, his 64th and 65th RBIs a year.
And now Parmelee with a bouncer to second his first time up. A little bit high, ball one. First 5 batters bounced out weakly against Danks. 5 of the next 8 have reached. Fouled back, 1-1. The way it looks, with Mauer able to and being cycled into his regular position behind the plate here in the final weeks, Morneau, when he plays, if he plays, will be just a designated hitter. Like the door's wide open for Parmelee to get some time at first base. Up and away, 2-1. Hits yesterday with his wife and in-laws in attendance. Two and one to Chris Parmelee. After a high fastball to even the count.
Parmelee again at Double-A, hit .287. He had 29 doubles, 5 triples, and hit 13 over the fence. Drove 83 runs, the most runs, RBIs at the Double-A level for the Twins.
Mauer at third. He was hit by a pitch. Valencia with a 2-run single. Hit hard to center. Rios chasing it over his head. 2 more runs will score. Parmelee with a double, and it's 4-0.
Chris Parmelee with his first extra base hit at the major league level, driving in his first RBI and another. Looked like a fastball. Parmelee hitting the ball sharply. Rios kind of went toward left field and then back. And by that time, that ball's over his head. And happy family. Twins take a 4-0 lead. Let me say that again. A 4-0 lead.
Here's Luke Hughes. And the whole inning just started to unravel for Danks when he walked Butera. Got ahead of him and then lost him to a walk. Revere spanked a single to left. Now 3 straight batters have reached with 2 out. Thought he had a big strikeout of Plouffe. 1-0 to Hughes. And a strike. And a foul, 1-2. Pavano taking some early run support here in the 3rd inning. Ozzie Guillen coming out to get the foul ball. He just had a violent gesture towards Steve Little saying, I got it. You stay in the coach's box. 2-2. Seeing Hughes more on the right side of second base than we have over on the left side. Occasionally getting some time at third base. Now 3-2.
Well, Danks needed only 24 pitches to get 6 outs in innings 1 and 2. Right now at 59 pitches. My California math says that's 35 pitches so far this inning. Since we just came from California, I know I'm right.
A little refresher course there, huh? Fly to right. And Diaz comes in and has to drift back toward the gap a little bit to make the catch and end the inning, but not until the Twins in 1 inning get a 2-run single and 2-run double.
Sports coats, and they look great. I mean, they, very professional, and it was actually a pretty neat moment. But like I said, I'm standing there in blue jeans and a T-shirt, signing some autographs on the table that we do for charity, and here these guys, I'm looking up, and I'm like, they just made me look like a rag top. So it was a good moment, though, to see those two young smiling like that.
Obviously, there haven't been as many smiles as the Twins would like, and I think you talked about it last night. Twins leading now 4-0. You get new players in with a new burst of enthusiasm, and it can rub off on other guys.
Well, I hope it does. It's sad to say, but yeah, I mean, when guys come up, I mean, like Benson and Parmelee and Hendricks, I mean, they bring that enthusiasm, and hey, I worked my tail end off to get to the major leagues. I'm going to enjoy every day. And you should never be complacent here at the major league level, because there's always somebody there to take your job.
See, I think that was a key part in the Twins' surge in June when they brought Ben Revere back up and let him play every day. And I honestly believe his infectious attitude and enthusiasm was a big reason the Twins got back into relevancy in the division.
Oh, I agree. You know, there's a guy out right there, Ben Revere. He does play with a lot of enthusiasm. He has that Kirby Puckett type of smile, wants to play the game, loves the game, and proud to wear a uniform.
Fly to left field, and Benson is there. Routine catch for him. You can let us know who you think will be the Arby's Value Player of the Game. Text the word value, followed by a space and the player's name to short code 234. 234. Pavano pitched out of a mess in the third. And now he's got a 4-0 lead. Here's Parmelee with a booming double to center field to drive in a couple of runs. You know, beyond that, the enthusiasm and the excitement and the attitude that Revere brought to the lineup, he made plays. You know, he made some great catches, got some big hits. And that's what the Twins are looking for from Benson and Parmelee, and they got one tonight from Parmelee. Viciedo retired, 1-4-3, 2 down. And that'll bring up Omar Vizquel. AT&T Trivia, who are the 4 active players with 400 or more stolen bases. And we have a shot of the batter, Omar Vizquel, teasing us into believing perhaps he's part of the answer, when I'm not going to take the bait and I'm instead going to go with the Chicago left fielder. Yeah, I'll take the bait there. I think it's Juan Pierre is on the list.
I'll go with him. I'll go with Omar.
Long run. Benson is going to close on it and come up a step short.
All right, we have the Circle Me Burt guests up here. They brought a great sign. You didn't get Circle last year on your 19th wedding anniversary. Dennis, Rita, congratulations on your 20th anniversary of marriage. And thanks for being Twins fans.
Thanks for being here to get us a 4-run inning, too. We haven't had one of those in about a month. Vizquel with another foul, 2 strikes. Well, who else could be on that stolen base?
I wonder if
list?
Bobby Abreu is.
Carl Crawford, does he have 400 already? Really 6 years in Tampa. That'd be 60-some a year, which is, you know, he's done that. I don't know if he's done it every year. And Pavano again trying to hit the inside corner, and he had the left side of his infield heading into the dugout there. They thought he hit the corner. 2-2. And now a full count with Morel on deck. Pavano's not had a 1-2-3 inning. He'd like to get that done here in the 4th. Another foul. Under the glove of Parmelee, a great at bat for Vizquel, and he gets another hit with 2 outs in the 4th. And Morel will have his chance with a man aboard.
Well, good at bat right there for Omar Vizquel. Finally got a fastball and hit it past the diving Parmelee into right field. A 2-out single. 5th hit for the White Sox.
Swing and a miss by Morel. Now at age 44, Vizquel wouldn't be stealing now, would he? If he's at $3.99, you know, he wants to be a part of our trivia answer.
He already is.
Blocked by Butero, 1-1. .65 pitches for Pavano. He'd like to wrap up business here in the 4th. Full foul. Pavano has had so little run support in the second half of the year. Doesn't want to give back half of it here in the 4th inning. 1-2. Dug out nicely by Butera. 2-2. Earlier this year, Pavano picked up his 1,000th career strikeout. But he's had a year of milestones this year. Bounced to short, and Plouffe flips to Hughes to end the inning. Not a 1-2-3 inning, but no damage done, and the Twins still lead 4-0. The best stories start here. By AT&T. And by Miller High Life. Miller High Life is proud to sponsor Operation Home Base. Give a veteran a piece of the High Life. 4-0 Twins. Joe Benson leads off the bottom of the 4th, and he takes strike 1 from John Danks. Bottom third of the lineup, Benson, Repko, and Butera. And a swing and a miss, 0-2. Benson wants to get it out of the way now. He's 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts. As a big leaguer, he walked in his first major league plate appearance. Wants to get that first hit. Inside, 1-2.
Again, Benson at Double-A hit .285, 114 hits and 400 at bats, 28 doubles, 4 triples, and 16 home runs. And for the second time, Danks went down and away, and Benson a strikeout victim.
One gone. Repko to the plate. The Twins' annual sports internship and career fair is scheduled for September 20th at Target Field. If you're interested in a career in the sports world, there's no better place to make some contacts Spaces are limited, so register today. Visit twinsbaseball.com/job opportunities or call 800-33-TWINS to get all the details. A strike on the outside corner. So Danks, who really struggled as much with his control as anything else, a walk and a hit batter, and they both came around to score. Puts Benson away early and hopes to have a quick bottom of the fourth. Well, if anything, it seems like his changeup has improved markedly over the last couple of years. Got a great one tonight. Popped up, back, and out of play.
Well, when you watch Mark Buehrle, I think, every fifth day you pick up, especially a left-hander like Buehrle is, you watch him work and you say, you know what, I kind of throw like him a little bit harder, but how he works that changeup in right there. I think last inning he missed with that pitch numerous times. And that's why I think the Twins took advantage of some pitches that he left up.
Working quickly, like Buehrle. And Repko might have cracked his bat, but he'll get a base hit. A one-out single here in the fourth.
Hey, I got a note here. I know her birthday is March 11th, but want to wish Anna Ron from Fairmont, Minnesota. She's a retired school teacher. Happy 100th birthday coming up.
March is a great month to have a birthday.
Yes, it is for you. March 1st, right?
Yes. I have no idea how many days it is between now and then, but
well, you could subtract 213 from 36. Good luck.
And Butera retired on the first pitch, 2 down. Here's Revere, who singled and scored.
But Anna, 100th birthday. Congratulations. Happy birthday to you early. And she was told she never misses a Twins game. Anna, thank you. You still subtracting over there?
I'm still working on it. Up and in, ball 1.
All right, I'm April 6th, 213 days until my birthday. If you're March 1st, come on. 36 minus 213.
How about 213 minus 36?
Yeah, whatever.
See, that's why I'm trying to do it your way, and
it's a California math. Let's go.
I'm trying to do it your way, and it looks like I'm never going to have my birthday. 1-1 to Revere.
The calculators are getting out. My goodness. That's a 7.
Well, they've got Repko picked off, and Konerko's throw right on the bag to get it. So the Twins end up sending 3 men to the plate. Revere will lead off the 5th, but the Twins lead 4-0.
And we'll find out how many days until your birthday.
for the Minnesota Twins. Just wanted to give a special shout out to all the troops overseas. We can't thank you enough for what you do for our country. We hope to see you home soon.
And we conclude our Operation Home Base presented by Miller High Life on Sunday from the Minnesota National Guard headquarters in St. Paul. Join us for a special 1-hour pregame as we reflect on the 10-year anniversary of September 11th, honor local military members and their families, and thank those who go above and beyond to support our troops. And as we said the other day, ironically, in the 10-year anniversary of the attack on 9/11, we'll be in the Detroit area where we were 10 years ago. White Sox, and I can't imagine the horror for them. They were in New York when the attacks occurred on September 11th. And you talk to members of their traveling party who are still around. It just was one of the most frightening experiences. I mean, we were, what, 1,000 miles away or 700 miles away from it, and we were all scared in Detroit, not knowing what was going to happen next. And the White Sox were right there. 2-2. Pierre Ramirez and Konerko here in the Chicago fifth.
Konerko, one of those players that was there.
Yeah. And Pierre flips it foul. Pavano has pitched in vintage style for him. He's rarely been one who has a lot of 1, 2, 3 innings. He gives up a lot of hits, some base runners, but when he's pitching well, he dodges bullets, to use a cliche, and leaves guys on base, and he's done that tonight.
Because he throws strikes. He's always around the plate. He changes speeds well. He makes that hitter hopefully get themselves out.
Bounce to the right side. Bobbled. And Parmelee can't contain it. And it'll be an error on Chris Parmelee. Might have been caught looking up at the speedy Pierre running up the line.
Yeah, just trying to do a little bit too much. We saw Joe Benson in last night's ball game to dive for a ball that he probably should have let fall in front of him. And right here, you know, Pierre, who does hustle down the line, but he had plenty of time to stop, and and you almost want to step on that ball right there, hit the heel of his glove, and then, okay, come on, come on.
I thought he was going to keep pushing it to first base and end up getting the out, and it would have been a comical way to get it out, but as it is, it's his first major league error. Second infield error for the Twins. Plouffe made one in the first with Ramirez at the plate.
Pierre at first base. He likes to run. 25 stolen bases, but he's been caught 14 times. It's the most in the American League. It looked like he's leaning right there.
Pavano vulnerable to stolen bases. One of the reasons the matchup with Butera has worked so well. Drew, one of the more accurate throwers among backup catchers. Pavano hits the outside corner. He's only struck out one man, but boy, did it come at a good time. 30% isn't anything to brag about, but you have to understand most of his duty behind the plate has been with Pavano, who's very vulnerable to giving up stolen bases. Now to the right side. Hughes will make a nice pickup and throw Ramirez out at first. Pierre goes to second, but Hughes made a good play behind the second base bag earlier, knocking down a ground ball going to his right. Now he goes to his left for an out. AT&T trivia question. I've got Juan Pierre on my list.
I got Omar Vizquel on
Crawford.
Ichiro.
Oh, sure. Well, we got 3 of the 4 names there, partner.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I was thinking about Ichiro. I didn't know if he was. I think this is his 11th year. I thought a couple years he didn't steal a lot of bases. But he did.
Here's Konerko with a runner at second. Konerko hit the ground ball up the middle past Pavano. Ramirez had doubled, and Hughes turned out to be a really good play behind the second base bag, knocking the ball down in the outfield grass. He temporarily saved a run, and permanently, as it turned out, saved a run.
Now keep an eye on Pierre. It's up to Hughes right here to keep him close. Got to look a couple times. Pierre again. He'll steal third.
One and 0 to Konerko. Throw to second. Pierre just got back. He took not just a secondary lead, but a tertiary lead. He was inching his way toward third base the entire time Pavano was holding the ball.
There's enough daylight right there where Pavano and Hughes can put something on here.
Now, when you tried to pick off somebody at second, did you spin around, or did you? I think Darty calls it the inside move.
No, you have to spin around. Well, there's two ways you can bring your knee up and then spin around, and you can do that right now. Pavano could without even throwing at second, as long as you go towards second, turn your body towards second base.
79 miles per hour on the corner. And a 2-0 pitch, an off-speed pitch for a strike.
Yeah, I like the daylight play. I wanted to say Hughes right here to kind of give me a glove. Give me an open glove. Once I see that, or an open hand, I wheel and throw.
And a base hit to left center. Pierre's going to score. And the Parmelee error hurts as the White Sox turn it into a run.
Konerko gets his third hit of the ball game, driving in his 93rd run.
Continuing to rack up good numbers against Carl Pavano.
Ball left up. Konerko got the count in his favor, then lines it right up the middle. So it's a 4-1 ball game.
Here's Pierzynski. After Hughes made the nice stop behind the bag, White Sox had runners at first and third, nobody out, and Pavano needed to strike out Pierzynski. He doesn't strike out very often, and he did it on a changeup. Then got a ground ball double play to get out of the inning. This one driven hard to right center field. Revere won't get it. Konerko doesn't run well. He's chugging to third, and he'll be held there. So Pierzynski with a drive to the gap, and the White Sox get the tying run to the plate.
AJ with his 25th double, jumping on that first pitch from Pavano. And Ben Revere looked like he's shading him a little bit toward left center. Got a long way to go for it. He can't catch up. And then the ball hit by him. Konerko right there, chugging over to third. And Jeff Cox, the third base coach, says, "Whoa, big guy, stay here."
Here's Rios. Has hit 2 ground balls to Valencia. The second one turned into a double play. Jeff Cox, one of the more popular coaches in the game. Outside, ball 1. Twins are playing the infield back, not because they're conceding a run nonetheless, or necessarily, but because Konerko's so slow. I don't think they feel the need to bring in the run, the infield, to choke off a run here. 1-1.
Well, a ground ball to second or third, Konerko would probably score. He's going to be going on contact if that ball hits by the pitcher. Now, if it's hit to Danny Valencia or maybe even Parmelee, I mean, he may not go.
1-1 to Rios. To center. And Revere with the catch. Konerko's going to come. And the throw coming toward third base. So a sacrifice fly. Konerko scores at 4-2.
And Rios picking up his 36th RBI of the year.
So a couple of unearned runs for the White Sox here. And for Pavano, he has now given up 13 unearned runs on the season. Here's Diaz. Fouled into the Twins dugout. Diaz with a couple of flies to Benson and left. 1-1. Pavano again has not had a 1-2-3 inning, and as a result of that, has thrown 87 pitches already tonight.
Yeah, first time around, better job, but as the game goes on, better batting average against Pavano.
Backhanded by Parmelee, and he finds Pavano, who gets to the bag right before Piazza does. White Sox, a couple of unearned runs, and they cut the Twins lead in half.
We are in the Minnesota State Lottery Winner's Circle with $100 in Minnesota State Lottery tickets. This is Laverne, Bert, from Lankin, South Dakota, and this is her first Twins game since 1975 back at the old Met Stadium. Never made it to a game at the Dome. How come you never made it to the Dome, Laverne?
Well, I guess we just were too busy having kids.
Too busy having kids. 6 kids, 15 grandkids, and you say around 15 or 16 great-grandkids, right? You lost count?
Yeah, I've lost count.
She lost count somewhere, but she's having a good time with her and her husband, Bert.
Hey, Laverne, welcome back.
Hey, Robbie, where in South Dakota is she from?
Lankin, South Dakota.
Lankin?
Dick asked.
North Dakota.
Or, why I said South Dakota? North Dakota. Lankin, North Dakota.
North Dakota.
Langdon.
Dick was asking.
Sure.
Lankin, North Dakota.
6-hour drive, Bert.
Well,
Dick.
Laverne, welcome back.
To Ramirez. And Revere retired, one away. Langdon way up in the northeastern part of North Dakota. Not too far from Calvin, North Dakota. And a little bit west of Cavalier. One down in the 5th. Here's Trevor Plouffe. That's a long haul from up there. No wonder she doesn't come to too many Twins games. It's almost up into Canada.
Well, Laverne, welcome.
Plouffe takes a strike, now a ball. One and two. Plouffe with a bouncer to third and a strikeout. And he fouls it away.
I mentioned before that Danks making his 21st career start against the Twins. His second here. He lost to Nick Blackburn and the Twins back in early May.
A lot of people lost to Blackburn in May.
Yep.
Been such a disappointing second half.
He hasn't had the best of luck against the Twins. He came into this game 6-8 with an ERA just under 5 for John Danks. And a good changeup right there. Gets Plouffe for the second straight time.
Mauer will hit. First a reminder that you can win a trip for two to Fort Myers, Florida by picking up an Arby's It's Good Mood Food code card every Friday at any participating Arby's. Then log on to foxsportsnorth.com. Click on the Fan Zone tab and enter the code for the chance to win. You've got to be a member of the Fan Zone and be 18 or older. 2 down in the 5th. And Mauer, who was hit by a pitch and scored in the 4-run 3rd inning, strike 1. One and one. Two and one. We're trying to start a rally here with 2 gone in the 5th. 3 and 1. Valencia on deck. And up the middle, it'll be a base hit. So Mauer might have cracked his bat for the 2nd time in the ball game, but he got a base hit.
And for the Twins, their 6th hit of the ball game. How quick Mauer's hands are right there. Ball middle in, opening up and getting the barrel of the bat out and hitting it right back up the middle.
You know, we're not very good, at least I'm not very good at predicting things, but I'm going to make a prediction. Somebody for the Twins next year is going to win the Comeback Player of the Year award. Sadly, they've got 3 or 4 guys who should be candidates for it. I have no idea who, but somebody's going to win the award for the Twins next year. Here's Valencia.
I won that back in 1989 when I was with the Angels, and I just didn't know where I was in '88.
Well, 88. Take a look at the pitch inside.
And then I see AJ wanting it away, inner half of the plate.
'88 was your last year with the Twins.
Well, I hurt my shoulder, you know, and I didn't have a very good year. And I had a pretty good year with the Angels my first year. I think I won 17 ball games, and they gave me the Comeback Player of the Year. And they announced it. I said, "Where'd I go?" I was there. I just kind of stunk that year.
You kind of felt like Tom Hanks in the movie where he's marooned on out in the ocean. Castaway, yeah. 2-2 to Valencia. Foul back. I think this is right. I think Dave Winfield is the only guy to win that award twice.
Yeah, I wonder where he went.
Well, in 1 year he had back surgery and didn't play much, and then he came back the next year. And
so you have to have a really crappy year to win that award.
Well, I didn't, you know, not to take anything away from your 1989 season, but Morel throws over to Konerko to end the inning. Mauer left aboard. It's 4-2 after 5. ask a question online at carsoup.com/baseball. John Seiko from Roseville wondering who was the last Twins infielder to win a Gold Glove. Torrey Hunter had a long run of outfield Gold Gloves, but the last infielder, not counting Joe Mauer and Johan Santana, battery mates.
So infielder, third, short, second, or first.
And it was Doug Minkiewicz in 2001 who won his only one that year. That was Torrey's first. And Twins fans will remember that was the day that the contraction announcement was made, threatening the Twins' very existence. Parmalee looking as the ball gets back into the seat. And I need to correct my mistake. The Robbie's guests out in the stands are from Lankin.
Laverne.
They're from Lankin, North Dakota, not Langdon. And Lankin is just not too far from Grafton or Minto or Inkster.
Minto, isn't that a fish?
No, that's minnow.
Oh.
And it's about straight north from Cooperstown, North Dakota. And Pavano got a piece of it. Plouffe picks it up, and it'll be an infield hit with a leadoff man here in the sixth. DC8 aboard. Minkiewicz was the gold standard at first base.
Yeah, that in 2001. He like Ken Herbeck, they weren't afraid to get down. Watch this play right here by Minkiewicz. Nice sliding play from Denny Hocking.
Veritek tagged out.
Yeah.
AJ spikes the ball. Here's Vizquel with a man aboard, nobody out. And it wasn't just the 3 plays we showed you, it was on a nightly basis. Minkiewicz would dig out throws, make great plays, diving stops. Hunter would do the same thing out in center field. They were the nightly highlight film stars. 1 strike to Vizquel. 1-1.
I think it was Don Mattingly won a lot of them over in New York, where I felt Ken Herbeck should have at least won 1, if not more, at first base. Herbie could play some first base.
See how many they can get here. 1, but not 2. Vizquel's 44-year-old legs still limber enough to reach on a fielder's choice.
Really, I'm surprised it was that close, because this ball was right off the end of the bat. Plouffe over to Hughes. Now Vizquel hustling down the line, but this ball was slowly hit. And a quick turnaround right there. Vizquel hustling down that line to stay out of the double play.
That'll bring up Morel. Walk and a ground ball for him, and a rocket right over the head of Pavano. So now first and second, 1 down, and Pavano climbing toward 100 pitches, and the White Sox, 3rd time through the order, are having much better success.
Oh, what we're seeing too is they're not wasting any time. They don't want to get in that changeup mode of Pavano. If that pitch is up and hittable, they're swinging the bat.
Tony Leo coming out with Rick Anderson.
Pavano kind of looking in, saying, "Hey, I'm okay." See if this got a piece of Pavano. No, right over his shoulders.
Home plate umpire Ted Barrett going out to make sure that the discussion points are all health related.
Carl's kind of lifting up his right hand.
A blister or something?
Yeah, might have a blister on there.
You ever have blister problems? There are some pitchers that have had chronic blister problems to the point where it's derailed their careers.
Well, I had a blister on my right finger, on my right hand, my middle finger, that by the end of the year, half of my nail was dead. It created a blood blister underneath, and between innings I'd pop it.
Okay.
And then get the pressure out.
Got the idea.
So yeah, I guess I did. So go ahead and throw up. I love it.
Ball 1. Now, what would cause that? The friction on the curveball or the fastball, or what?
Just on the curveball and the fastball. For some reason, it just started forming, and it just got worse. I used to get them on my thumb, too. I used to always shave down that little extra skin on the thumb.
Now, you were careful enough to say it was your right hand. If you got blisters on your left hand, well, then that wouldn't make any sense at all.
No, it wouldn't. And that's another story.
2-0. And a drive down the line. It's a base hit. Vizquel is going to score. Morel to third. He's going to be held up. And it's a 4-3 ball game. Pierre almost did that in the 5th inning, driving one foul, and this time he kept one fair.
Well, Pierre getting his 1,999th hit. And it's an RBI double for Juan Pierre, his 14th double of the year. That ball kind of just spun right there, didn't really move much. And Pierre dropping the barrel of the bat, pulling it down that right field line. By the time Repko could get that ball in, Omar Vizquel scored.
And that'll be the end of the night for Carl Pavano, as he's given up 3 runs, has a couple of men in scoring position with 1 out.
Danks clocked as high as 92. Carl Pavano, 5 1/3 innings, clocked as high as 91. That's the shortest outing so far for Pavano. You have to go back to July 31st when he worked 4 innings in a loss to the Oakland A's in Oakland. He's always been usually good for 6 or 7 innings. Alex Burnett hoping to get out of this jam right here, making his 60th appearance on the year.
And he's got a tough task here, trying to protect a 1-run lead with runners at 2nd and 3rd and 1 out. Alexei Ramirez 1 for 3. A double leading off the 3rd inning. Valencia even with the bag at 3rd. Parmelee back a step or 2 at 1st. Middle infielders playing deep up the middle. And a check swing, ball 1.
First hitters against Alex Burnett, and you brought that up a couple 3-4 days ago, are hitting only .231. Only 7 of 41 inherited runners have scored. They've done a good job in this role. A couple sliders missing down and away.
It's a very good percentage, and he's going to try to strand at least one of them here in the 6th. 2-0. And Ramirez lays off 3 sliders.
Yeah, all 3 sliders, same spot.
With Konerko on deck. Right down the middle of strike. And Ramirez taking all the way.
Now, what we have seen Alex do is run that 2-seamer in on right-handers and get that ground ball. 3 sliders, a fastball. Watch Butera, see where he moves.
Back to Burnett, who makes a nice fielding play and flips to first. So Burnett gets a one-hopper back to the mound. He had to lunge for it, but he got it.
Well, Ramirez kind of going out of his swing zone, his strike zone, to swing at a pitch down and away. Not a very good at-bat right here. Look where that pitch is. And Burnett fielding his position. And the runner there at third base, he has to hold. And Morel has to stay there, and they're going to go ahead and walk Konerko intentionally.
Already with 3 hits tonight, no reason to tempt fate here with the lead on the line. So again, Burnett gets that first batter, and his role on this team, at least right now, is to come in the middle of innings, and generally that only happens with guys on base. So he's done a nice job with that, and it's
really
an unheralded stat for a middle reliever or any reliever, and in Burnett's case it's certainly a lot more important than earned run average or anything like that.
First intentional walk that Alex Burnett has had to issue this year. And you can see leading the American League, Jose Bautista, who's been intentionally walked the most, and Konerko on that list.
And so with left-hand hitting A.J. Pierzynski due up next, Burnett will be relieved by Jose Mijares. And he's handled left-handers actually better than as well as he's handled right-handers. But the percentage move is to bring Mijares in with the bases loaded.
Well, how Mijares at times has had trouble getting that ball over the plate. 28 walks in 46 innings pitched, 2 intentional walks. His job right here is to throw strikes right off the get-go. Now, Mijares worked in game 2 here on Monday, an inning and a third of shutout baseball.
Bases loaded, 2 away. With the Twins up a run. Bounce to the right side. Parmelee looks to second. And Mijares gets the job done on 1 pitch.
Very nice.
Cam.
Well, Ben Revere hitting that ball the other way, picking up a base hit in the 3rd inning, and then later scored. There's that puck smile.
John Danks delivering his first pitch of the 6th inning. It's strike 1 to Chris Parmalee, who drilled a 2-run double over the head of Alex Rios in the 4-run 3rd inning. 2 strikes. The Frost Brewed Coors Light Freeze Can featuring Ben Revere. The Twins hope to get him up to the plate here in the 6th. Headed up the middle, backhanded by Vizquel. Good play by the veteran. Parmalee retired, 1 away.
Well, you think of this guy, 44 years old, playing with kids that are, what, 22, 23 years old. And makes a very nice play. Backhanded play. Omar Vizquel showing off that little bit of range, and then still able to get something on the throw. Wow.
One down, here's Hughes, and he takes a strike. Hughes with a single in the 2nd and a fly ball to right that wrapped up the 3rd inning. Cutter inside and a foul ball, 2 strikes. Checked his swing, 1-2.
You know, when you put it in perspective, you look at Omar Vizquel at 44 years old. Parmalee, who was just thrown out by Vizquel, he was born in '88. He came up in '89. That's how long he's been playing.
1-2. 100 pitches for Danks, 64 strikes. And check swing foul. There's some who believe that next year, perhaps with Mark Burley moving on, that the White Sox will move Chris Sale, another lefty, into their rotation. Close pitch taken for ball 2.
Yeah, Danks wanted that pitch right there. Saw it on the Fox track, number 6. It was right there.
And Hughes hanging tough. Sale, if he does come into the Chicago rotation, even with Burley coming back and Danks, he'd be by far the hardest throwing lefty in their rotation. Now 3-2. And Joe Benson on deck. And he walked him. Well, that 6th pitch frustrated Danks, but credit Hughes. Fouled off some pitches and kept the plate appearance alive and ends up at first base.
Yeah, 2nd walk for Danks in the ball game. He walked Drew Butera with 1 out in the 3rd, and the Twins took advantage of that. You can see he's still barking a little bit. Don't blame him.
Joe Benson will hit, still looking for the first major league hit. A couple of strikeouts tonight against Danks. Been baffled by that changeup. Now a fly ball to left. And Pierre comes in for the catch on a quick 2nd out. Repko will hit next. Can join Denard Span and his teammates for an evening of bowling for charity on Thursday, September 15th. It's the 2nd annual Twins and Pins Charity Classic, and it's at the Brunswick Zone in Lakeville next Thursday night. It'll be my pleasure to bowl and MC that event. Visit twinsbaseball.com/community for more information and to reserve your spot for the big event. Here's Repko. And a strike. Foul back, 2 strikes.
Repko a base hit in his last at bat. Danks throwing strike 1, 12 straight batters he's faced, been able to get strike 1, get ahead in the count. AJ fastball in.
And off the trademark. On a play. Twins getting all 4 of their runs in the 3rd inning. A 2-run single by Valencia and a 2-run double by Parmelee. The White Sox have scored the next 3 runs. Foul tip, and Pierzynski can't hang on. A whopping 14 games separating the White Sox and Twins. Cavs getting loose in the Twins bullpen.
Yeah, who would have thought out of spring training the Twins would be where they're at this time of the year?
In last place, but Kansas City lost to Oakland this afternoon, 7-0. And they've got Hughes picked off. Konerko has to spin and fire, and he throws the ball into left center. Hughes to third. They're going to wave him around. Vizquel's throw, not in time, and the Twins lead at 5-3. They had him picked off, but Konerko looked like he had to reach for the pickoff throw, and then spinning and firing, he misfired.
Right, threw a P to second base because this ball, watch Konerko right here, spins and throws. And it got by Ramirez, and then Luke Hughes picking up Steve Little, and Steve Little saying, keep going. Good hard slide into home plate. Good hustle by Luke Hughes, scoring all the way from first base. On a stolen base, he'll give Luke Hughes, and then the error by Konerko, allowing him to score.
And the count, 2 strikes to Repko, and now a ball. What? I don't know. We don't have the best angle, or at least we haven't shown it yet. It didn't look like Konerko's throw was that far off target. It almost looked like it was right over the bag, but Ramirez unable to control it. Repko fouls it back.
Well, the thing is, I mean, Ramirez has to hold his ground, and all of a sudden, you know, to throw it first, he's got to hustle to get to the bag.
Right.
So he's running over there as quick as he can. And then Konerko had something on that ball right there. He threw a P. Now, it's normally the shortstop that covers the bag on a throw like this. And you can see that Vizquel backed away, and
the throw was right over the base. And a little pop fly to left center field. In fact, it's the shortstop Ramirez who makes the catch to end the inning. A little miscommunication between the middle infielders, maybe. Twins took advantage of whatever it was and lead by 2.
and So far, good job by the bullpen. Alex Burnett came in a tough situation, got out of it. Jose Majaras got the final out of the 6th inning. And now it'll be Matt Capps starting here the 7th inning. Numbers on Capps, 63rd appearance overall.
Rios, De Aza, and Viciedo. And Danks, of course, frustrated that the walk of Hughes even happened after throwing one pretty much right down the middle. Pitch wasn't called. And then the throwing error allowing Hughes to come around and score. Strike one on the outside corner.
You ever had a blister?
Well, all the time on my feet.
I mean,
yeah.
no, how about on your hands?
Yeah. When I've been.
In a fantasy camp, have you ever had a blister to try to throw a baseball?
Generally, if I'm, hauling wood or splitting wood or doing something like that, I'll get a blister sometimes.
Pavano, it looks like he's got the same habit that I have, and that's biting your nail. But you can see right there the blister on the end of his nail. And then here, I don't quite understand that right there. That really doesn't
that's
come
his
into
thumb,
play.
right?
That's his right thumb, right.
I mean, would there be any pitch where the ball would be resting right on the knuckle of the thumb?
Maybe he drops it underneath.
2 strikes to Rios, leading off the 7th. It's hit to right, hit pretty well. Repko makes the catch, 1 away. I used to get a lot of blisters in my hands raking leaves, but now I have 2 teenage kids, and so I'm figuring my leaf raking days are over.
Are they?
That's what I'm figuring. 1 down in the 7th. Here's De Aza. De Aza with a couple of flies to left and a ground ball to first. Down low, ball 1. White Sox with 2 in the 5th. They were unearned. Put together a run and a rally in the 6th. And now off the mound into center field. De Aza has his first hit. And that'll bring up Dayan Viciedo.
I haven't seen a lot of De Aza, but what we have seen, we've seen a guy that comes to the ballpark to play. This guy's got a good little future ahead of him. Spent some time with the Florida Marlins. Now getting an opportunity to get some at-bats for the White Sox.
And they really like this guy, too, Dayan Viciedo. Ball 1. Fox Tracks brought to you by Carrier. Viciedo spent some time talking with one of the baseball heroes in his native Cuba, Tony Oliva, before the game today. Tony has been in the United States since the early 60s. Tony still has family there, and Viciedo got to spend some time with one of Tony's brothers in a baseball environment.
Ouch, got him.
And Capps hits Viciedo. So now 1st and 2nd, 1 out, and Vizquel due up.
4th hit batsman of the year for Matt Capps. Wants to go inside, but too far inside. Getting the left elbow area for Viciedo. Showing Harold Baines his guns.
Just looking at how he's built, I don't think it hurt too much.
No, I don't think so either.
The baseball's been taken out of play.
Lopsided.
Here's Vizquel. Stayed out of a double play after hitting a ground ball in the 6th, and eventually came around to score the run that the White Sox got last inning. Foul back.
We're wondering about Pavano with that little cut on the top, and they said when Viciedo hit that ball up the middle, he may have got a cut right there off the bat of Viciedo. That in the 6th inning.
One strike to Vizquel.
There's a daylight play right there, but Capps was not looking. I like when my infielders did that. Greg Gagne did that really well. Sometimes you get the base runners kind of looking around, maybe looking into for a sign, but once you come set, pick them up right now.
Inside, 1-1.
Well, go back to the 6th inning, last inning. Viciedo hitting a ball, and
yep,
got his thumb right there. Yeah, looking at it right there.
And now foul back, 1-2. Capps got the first man, the single that hit batter, giving the White Sox a threat here. Lester Olivares and Phil DeMatre warming up. Busted bat and an infield fly rule should be called. Parmelee with the catch, 2 away. And that'll bring up Brent Morel. Morel singled his last time up. Considered to be an outstanding defensive third baseman, but he's had a good series at the plate. Runner at second is Diaza. Viciedo at first. Just off the plate, ball 1.
The defense playing pretty even up.
Check swing foul, 1-1.
Beautiful night here at Target Field.
Goodness. Weather just perfect for baseball or just about anything else. One and one to Morel. Swings through a fastball. Bouncer headed up the middle. Plouffe digs it out, flips to second. Nice play. Plouffe to Hughes to end the inning in the threat. Twins still lead by 2. Time for the 7th inning stretch, brought to you by Medica.
just $4.99 at McDonald's. And by CenturyLink. Quest is now CenturyLink. Visit CenturyLink.com to learn more.
A 5-3 Twins lead. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Alex Burnett and the Twins bullpen doing a nice job here with Burnett getting just one out. Caps gave up a couple of base runners, but he got out of the inning.
John Dank's work is done. Dylan Axelrod coming in, making his major league debut. His contract just purchased from AAA Charlotte. Went 9-3 with a 2.69 ERA and 26 games in Charlotte, 24 starts. Axelrod in his 5th year in the White Sox organization.
Drew Butera will be his first major league hitter. And a fastball, strike one.
Sorry, Axelrod originally signed by the San Diego Padres and then signed as a free agent in 2009 by the White Sox.
Inside corner, 1-2.
AJ wants a curveball.
Short center, Rios got a late break on it. And Ramirez with a nice sliding catch in short center field. Good play by the White Sox shortstop.
Yeah, very nice play with your back to the infield, trying to keep your eye on the ball. Ramirez going out, sliding, and that ball right in the middle of the glove. Nice defensive play.
So one down in the 7th, and here's Ben Revere. Revere's impact on this team has been profound this year. We've shown you the catches, his top 5 list. We gave you his description of them in our pregame show. This one hit to the left field corner. And a foul ball. Look at the Pepsi Max in-game box score.
Parmalee, the big hit, the 2-run double. That coming in the 4-run 3rd inning for the Twins off of John Danks.
As we wind down the season, so many Ben Revere plays that we've thought of and will remember during the long cold winter. But I don't think I will ever see again somebody get a triple and do a somersault between 2nd and 3rd. We'll see great catches in center from Revere and others. But that was one of the more humorous things I've ever seen. A 1-out single, Revere's 2nd hit of the ball game. Here's the Grand Casino story of the game.
On the 3rd inning for the Twins, who had not scored many runs at all, won in this 4-game series, finally explode for 4 runs. But the White Sox keep coming back. Juan Pierre with an RBI double in the 6th inning. And then the Twins getting a run on an error by Konerko, where Hughes stole a base and then scored all the way around.
See if the Twins send Revere here. He's checked right away from Axelrod. Plouffe at the plate. Hitless, a grounder to 3rd, and a couple of strikeouts. And there goes Revere on the first pitch. Pierzynski double clutch the throw. Didn't matter. He would not have had much of an opportunity to throw Revere out anyway.
And Revere stealing his 26th base of the year in 33 attempts. Got a good jump right here. AJ, you can see it having a tough time getting that grip of the ball, but Ben Revere head first slide. I think they should make from first to second about 94 feet for Ben Revere.
There's a bunt. Axelrod fires to first, and Plouffe advancing the runner to third, should not get credit for a sacrifice.
No, he's trying to bunt on his own right there, trying to get it down that third baseline. Too close to the pitcher.
2 down. That'll bring Mauer up with a runner at third. Well, just another note about Revere with his stolen base now on the season. Revere has 26, as you said, in 33 tries. This is only his 99th game that he's played. So you imagine what a full season's stolen base total would be if they're going to be walking Mauer here. If you could get Revere out for 155 games, let's say. Well, we've talked about him being a 40 steal a year guy. That might be conservative. You can imagine him maybe being a 50 steal a year guy.
I'm making my major league debut like Axelrod. Last thing I want to do is intentionally walk Joe Mauer. I want to go after him.
Yeah? Well, you went after Drew Butera, your first major league hitter. You got him.
Got him. Revere got a base hit. He stole a base.
You've already got your first major league assist. You fielded the bunt through to first.
And I want to call home and say, I got Joe Mauer out. Well, Joe Mauer got a base hit off me.
So first and third, 2 away, and Valencia to the plate. Valencia dropped a 2-run pop fly single down the right field line to get the Twins on the scoreboard. It's an uncommon occurrence, or has been, here in this homestand. And then Parmelee backed it up with a 2-run double over the head of Rios in center. Down the line, but foul. Will Ullman warming up in the Chicago bullpen. Nice pickup by Morel, and he slings it on target to first. And Valencia, on a well-hit ball, is retired, and the Twins leave 2 aboard in the 7th.
Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Minnesota Twins, LLC. So far, the bullpen has been very good behind Carl Pavano, who worked the first 5 and a third innings. Good job by Matt Capps getting out of that situation in the 7th. Now it'll be Glenn Perkins, who missed some time, not on the disabled list, just a bit of a sore left elbow area, making his 58th relief appearance.
And he'll face Juan Pierre, Alexi Ramirez, and Paul Konerko. Twins up a pair, trying to win the final game of this series in homestand. Ball 1. An important final 3 weeks for the likes of Glenn Perkins, too. He's had a good year, an emerging year. And a forearm issue might have contributed to some of his less effective outings. Now he wants to prove that he is healthy and ready to go for next year.
Well, he's done a great job in this role. Of course, when he first came up, they thought maybe a future starter, but he has accepted this role, and he's really, I think, had a very good year out of that bullpen. Only 46 hits allowed in 55 innings pitched. 17 walks, 5 intentional with 60 strikeouts.
4 fastballs, only 1 for a strike.
I think what we saw from Perkins, too, as a starter, he's 91, 92. But as a reliever, he can get that baby up to 94, 95. But he walks that leadoff batter, Juan Pierre.
Ramirez will hit next. If you want to become a Twins season ticket holder, the only way to do so is to become a member of the Twins On Deck Circle. It's currently 3,000 members strong and growing. You can sign up today to take advantage of exclusive benefits and future season ticket opportunities. If you'd like more information, call 800-33-TWINS or visit twinsbaseball.com. There's a first pitch strike to Ramirez. Up and away, and Perkins struggling a bit with his control.
That last fastball at 95, a quick trip to the mound by catcher Drew Butera. Rick Anderson keeping a close eye on Perkins.
And a slice drive into the right field corner. Repko turns and fires. Ramirez digging for second. Here's the throw. Safe on a very close play. Repko from the deep right corner nearly threw out Ramirez at second. As it is, the White Sox now have the tying run at second with nobody out.
Yeah, Ramirez's second double of the ball game, his second hit. Hitting it the other way. Repko gets over there quickly and does a little spin around, and the throw right on the second base bag. But Ramirez sliding in safely. Feet first slide. And every part of his body tried to stay on that bag.
Now Konerko at the plate. First base is open. Twins running into more difficulty here. The bullpen and the starting pitcher Carl Pavanos forced the White Sox to strain a lot of runners. They've left a dozen on. That misses the inside corner. Might have been Perkins' first breaking pitch.
Well, Konerko already 3 hits in the ball game, then intentionally walked in the 6th. Rick Anderson getting on the phone.
Looper to right. And the first baseman Parmelee with the catch. And Konerko just a little chip shot, and Parmelee playing on the edge of the grass anyway. Took a couple steps back for the first out. And that'll bring up Pierzynski.
Well, good fastball right there, and Konerko kind of jammed himself and popped that ball up.
Pierzynski 1 for 4. Doubled to right center field in the 5th inning when the White Sox scored a couple of runs. Swing and a miss.
Good slider there by Perkins.
It's a Tapper foul.
Some more action in the bullpen. Jim Hoey, Phil DeMatre.
Only one Chicago batter struck out tonight, and it was Pierzynski in a key spot. And a half swing making contact, keeping the at bat alive. That was way back in the third inning. It was the only strikeout for Pavano when he was in there. The bullpen is yet to strike out anybody. Two strikes. Another slider. Another foul ball. Little roller to the right side. Pierzynski will be retired. A run will come in. And it's a 5-4 ball game with the tying run at third. Time for the Coors Light Cold Hard Blast off the bat of Alex Rios last night.
Yeah, that came in last night's ball game. The only home run hit so far in this 4-game series. The hanging breaking ball that Rios hit out.
So Rios with the tying run at third and 2 away. Strike one. This game does not very often, it seems, forgive leadoff walks. 2 strikes.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to Gene Mauch when he would manage the Twins back in the 70s. 76 was his first year. I remember him saying that, you know what, he did not like that leadoff walk. He was a stats manager. He said like 70% of all leadoff walks score.
2 strikes to Rios. Perkins trying to preserve a Twins lead. Jeff Cox wants no part of that.
Big out right here for Perkins and the Twins. Holding on to that 1-run lead.
Fouled back. 96-mile-per-hour fastball. And Rios fouled it back. Pavano, not so much a strikeout pitcher, but Perkins is. He's averaged more than a strikeout per inning pitched. Right down the middle. So much for Rios' bat. The Twins still lead by a run.
Live presented by CenturyLink, featuring the Toyota post-game wrap. Among the topics to be discussed, Chris Parmelee and his plate presence. He had a 2-run double early in the ball game. We'll break down his night, picking up teammates. For example, Parmelee made the error. Luke Hughes backed it up with a nice play at second base. And we'll discuss the pitcher-catcher relationship with a former World Series winning pitcher and a former World Series winning catcher. How about that, Dick and Bert? All on Twins Live, presented by CenturyLink.
That sounds good to me.
What that relationship is, that on the field or off the field?
Oh, foul.
Guess we'll find out.
Parmelee with a 2-run double in the third did commit an error. It'll be Parmelee, Hughes, and then Benson. We want Joe Benson to get a hit this inning so he doesn't have to play his first 2 major league games without a hit. And Parmelee is out on strikes.
And Axelrod picking up his first major league strikeout. Good fastball, inner half of the plate. AJ sitting inside and hitting the glove.
Here's Hughes, a single and a walk. Was picked off first, got credit for a stolen base. Konerko threw the ball into left field, threw it over the bag. Nobody caught it. Maybe that's a better way to describe it. And then Hughes scampered around for what right now is the difference-making run in the game. 1-1. That's a bouncer foul. This afternoon, the Tigers completed their sweep of the Indians. Justin Verlander got his 22nd win. Tampa Bay beat Texas, and so now the Tigers not only leading the division comfortably, they have the edge for the 2nd seed in the playoffs. And will be playing for home field advantage in that first round. Two and two to Luke Hughes. That's to left center. Nobody home. Hughes is going to get extra bases. A 1-out double for Luke Hughes.
Well, Luke Hughes getting his 2nd hit of the ball game, his 11th double. Axelrod leaving a pitch. Kind of a hanger right there, a breaking ball. And Hughes, good solid swing. Puts that gap in left center. All the way to the wall. Rios has to retrieve it and get it back in.
All right, Benson so far is 0 for 6 with 3 strikeouts. He's got a chance to get his first hit, drive in his first run. On the outside corner. We hit him 1-1. Two and one. With 6 at bats, it seems like every time he's been behind in the count. Now he's got a favorable count, 2-1.
Let's see if Axelrod throws him a fastball right here. A breaking ball looked like.
2-2. Two and two to Joe Benson. Chopper. Ramirez. Fields. Close play. Benson retired and on the play. Hughes goes to third. 2 down. Repko will hit next. Outdoor enthusiasts. Fox Sports North Outdoors is your home for the best outdoor programming on Saturday and Sunday mornings. Fox Sports North Outdoors presented by Menards. Saturdays at 6 in the morning, Sundays at 8 in the morning, only on Fox Sports North. And now it's a 1-run lead for Joe Nathan. Repco trying to double the Twins lead with a 2-out hit here in the 8th. Big swing and a miss. Repco 1 for 3. One and one. And now the inside corner, 1-2. Can play all 3 outfield positions, but now Joe Benson is on the team, and that's kind of, as you look ahead to next year, potentially a role for him, a utility outfielder who can move all the way around the outfield. And a called third strike. So the Twins leave Hughes at third base, and Joe Nathan will try to protect a 1-run lead when we get to the 9th. Around the bases after getting picked off.
Yeah, Paul Konerko's throw going into center field, and Steve Little just sending him in. And a bang-bang play, but Hughes scores the 5th run of the game.
And that's the difference in the game right now as Joe Nathan comes into the 9th inning. And the Twins in front 5-4. Twins have been out hit 12-8. And the White Sox have left 13 men on base tonight.
Well, one thing Joe Nathan has been able to do in these situations since he was put back into the closer role, 9 consecutive save opportunities, he's been able to get 9 saves. So, you know, even though the saves have been far and few between, Joe Nathan has a save opportunity right here. It'd be his 13th of the year.
Diaz, Viciedo, and Vizquel due up here in the 9th inning. Adam Dunn, of course, on the bench. Big, powerful left-handed batter. We may see him. Ball 1. And a strike. Maybe the best, most succinct way to describe Nathan over the last month to 6 weeks, if you took that period of time and inserted it into any of his other years before his Tommy John surgery, it would fit in nicely. He looks very similar now to the pitcher he was before the surgery.
He's worked his tail end off to get back to this point right here.
2-1 to De Aza. Missing with a fastball, and now it's 3-1. Perkins walked the leadoff man in the 8th, and it cost the Twins a run. Three and two.
De Aza taking all the way.
Might have been ball 4, but he hooked it foul. Full count to the leadoff man here in the 9th. Slider inside, got him. An 87-mile-per-hour slider, one down.
All right, well, great pitch right there. You know, it's got to be the tight rotation that makes De Aza swing over the top. Looks like a fastball, and then that ball just down and in. And Nathan, a big strikeout. Always important to get that first out here for a closer.
Here's Viciedo. Just off the plate, ball 1. Viciedo with a couple of singles. He was hit by a pitch his last time up. Ducks out of the way, 2-0. Nathan with 9 pitches, just 4 strikes, according to the total here.
You have to be careful right here. This guy looks big and strong. Gutierrez sitting away. Oh, a big swing right there.
2-1.
Count in your favor. Of course you're going to swing hard.
Well, that's a Sheffield-like swing. 2-1. And he hit the inside corner to even the count.
Good pitch right there. Of course, Viciedo probably looking away again. And this time they go inside. Gutierrez sitting right there and framing it.
Another full count. Viciedo laying off the breaking pitch. Struck him out. Another slider. And Nathan has back-to-back strikeouts. And it will be Omar Vizquel who will hit.
Maybe swinging at ball 4, but again, it's that tight rotation, and Viciedo strikes out.
I anticipated Adam Dunn being used here, but Dunn nowhere to be found. Down low to Vizquel, ball 1. And Dunn is there in the Chicago dugout.
And Danny Valencia at third, taking the bunt away.
Nathan falls behind Vizquel, 2-0. Now a strike. Liner to the shortstop, Plouffe, and the Twins win the series finale. A 5-4 win, and Kevin Gord. The Twins have needed to give the fans here at Target Field something to feel good about, and that's exactly what happened here tonight.
Yeah, big crowd on Hanover, 38,000. Go home happy. Joe Nathan gets his 13th save of the season. Stay with us for Twins Live. We'll take you through that pitcher-catcher relationship. We'll hear from Ron Gardner.